send it out, oh Lord, none of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us is chained, none of us are free. It's the same old truth. We all need to see. None of us are free. If one of us is chained, none of us are free. Well, I swear to you, salvation isn't too hard to find. None of us can find it on our own. We got to join together, spirit, heart, and mind. To every soul who's suffering knows they are not alone.
And top of the morning, top of the week, this is We Ourselves. I'm Ambrose I. Lane Sr. On Friday, we began a two-part series. We raised the question, was 9/11 the result of an inside job by our government or by someone connected to people at the highest levels in our government? Over the past several months, I have been honored to have Dr. Judy Wood share with my listeners her important scientific findings. And today, as well as on Friday, another great mind, Andrew Johnson, came all the way here from England. And both are in our studios today to share their views on this issue. Now, what would be the purpose of our government or people at the highest, or someone connected with people at the highest level in our government committing such an atrocious act? Well, its purpose is to create the nationwide emotional response that enabled our government to mislead us into invading Iraq. Iraq and Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with what happened at the Twin Towers. And so we've had them to discuss this issue and to expose to the world the scientific findings by Dr. Woods. And I promised you on Friday that we would make them available to you for your questions because we didn't have a chance to get to your questions on Friday. Now, on Friday, before I get to that, on Friday, both Andrew Johnson and Dr. Woods discussed a concept that we haven't talked about before called the Hutchison effect. So this morning, before opening up the phones for your questions, although you can go ahead and call and get in line, the number to call is 588-0893 or 202-588-0893. I would like to ask Andrew to tell us in as simple terms as possible about what the Hutchison effect is and to introduce another guest that's on the line. Andrew?
Thank you very much indeed, Ambrose. We're really honoured to be here again and glad that we have this opportunity to display this information before the audience and hopefully get them to look at it, evaluate it, and I think they will come to the conclusion that it's very important information. And I will try and start with answering the description that you asked me to give, and I've got something here to read out which is relatively short, and then we're going to go over to John to get his take on this. The Hutchison effect is a collection of phenomena which were discovered accidentally by John Hutchison during attempts to study waves made by Tesla back in 1979. The Hutchison effect occurs as the result of radio wave interferences in a three-dimensional zone space volume radiated by 2 or more high-voltage sources, usually a Van de Graaff generator, and 2 or more Tesla coils. The results are levitation of heavy objects, fusion, which is joining of dissimilar materials such as metal and wood. The anomalous melting without heating of metals, without burning adjacent material, spontaneous fracturing of metals, which separate by sliding in a sideways fashion, and both temporary and permanent changes in the crystalline structure and physical properties of metals. And I think really what I can then do is, hopefully we've got John on the line. John, are you there?
No, other than John Hutchison. Welcome to We Ourselves.
Well, thank you, guys. I'm on the West Coast, and hello to all you folks in Washington, D.C.
Great, John. It's great to have you. Ambrose, is there anything you wanted to say to John, or shall I?
No, I want him to go ahead and talk about the Hutchison effect and how he discovered it and its relevance. Great.
And did you hear the description I just read out, John?
Yes.
Fantastic.
That would be the text, would think be written up in the 80s.
Okay, and what would be your comments on that? And could you expand on any points or make them a bit clearer for the listeners?
Well, I feel that there's a lot more that's been written up, of course, on the Hutchison effect books, publications, and other scientific data. There's somebody already replicating it. And I am doing it on a smaller scale here prior to the Canadian government seizing the main lab. So.
Okay. And do you think that there was any sort of main things that I missed out with that description?
Spontaneous combustion, fires that appear from nowhere is one of them.
Right, yes, absolutely. Now, you've obviously been playing with this for a long time, and I know you've been through the wars, at various times with having your equipment confiscated and things like this. That I believe that's happened at least twice. Is that correct?
No, main time was 1990 when I was in Europe. It was the Canadian government that took the entire laboratory and tried to make a secret operation, but newspapers found out about it and published the news.
Okay.
And that was. But I've been raided before in 2000.
Okay. And one of the things that we wanted to just check with you, that I believe it was in 1983. There was a person called John Alexander, Colonel John Alexander, in fact, who'd come to see you because he'd learned about what you were doing. I wondered if you could sort of mention a little bit about that.
Oh, yes. Colonel John Alexander was 1983. He came with a team from Los Alamos, and he said to me that we're expecting a threat from, as I recall it, a threat from the Soviet Union.
Okay.
And that was a concern for the American government. So I gave a demonstration for about